My name's Stan Schofield and this is Adam Thielen, and we're down here at the OA Performance Center in Saco, Maine. And as you know, we have a very robust baseball program down here. And today the two of us want to share with you our top 5 tips on how you can improve your performance as a baseball athlete and prevent injury throughout your season.
All right guys, here's tip number 1. And it's all about how are you preparing yourself for the upcoming season. Are you waiting until the last minute to pick up a baseball a week or two before tryouts start? Are you following a structured throwing program that's getting you prepared for the upcoming season? Are you also taking care of your strength and conditioning? Are you working on your speed and agility? Are you eating right, following the proper diet plan? Are you sleeping enough? All those bases need to be covered before that season starts.
Tip number 2, monitoring pitch count. A lot has been made lately about the number of pitches that our athletes are throwing in the game, and that is a very important factor to pay attention to. But some of the other areas that you need to pay attention to as well is, hey, how many pitches are you throwing in an inning? Are you up to 20, 25, 30 pitches in an inning? At that point, it may not be your day. But you also have to take a look at how many pitches are you throwing in your bullpen? How many pitches are you throwing to warm up? All those factors kind of contribute to the overall number of pitches you throw, and volume is one of the most critical things you need to pay attention to help prevent injury throughout the season.
With that being said, guys, here's tip number 3, and it's all about number of innings. Studies show that if you throw more than 100 innings in a season, your chances of getting injured are up 350%. That's a big number. So let's make sure we keep track of not only our pitch count and number of throws in a game, but also our number of innings in a season.
Tip number 4. Time off at the end of the season. One of the biggest things we recommend is you have to take time off at the end of your season. We really recommend a minimum of 12 weeks. So if you're thinking about continuing your season or utilizing one of those showcases, you may want to think twice about that. Typically, college or different recruiting services already know who you are, and those showcases are really unnecessary. As well as the fact that we know from research that your likelihood of getting injured during those time periods are 5 times greater than somebody that does not participate in those activities. So please, take time off at the end of your season.
All right, and finally, number 5. I'm about to show you our top 5 exercises to help keep your arm healthy throughout the season. And it doesn't matter if you're a pitcher or a position player. All right, here's exercise number 1. What we're working here is some posterior cuff soft tissue work. What we have is a lacrosse ball on the back of the shoulder. What the athlete's going to do is going to roll side to side. What we're looking for here is a trigger spot. Okay, once he finds one, a little tight spot, going to put the arm at 90 degrees. And here's where it's important. Athlete's going to move back, externally rotation. Now, if you're super tight in the shoulder, it's going to be very hard to bring your hand to the floor. So you don't want to force it down. After external rotation, you want to come into internal rotation. You may find you're limited in this movement. It's okay. Your goal here is to find your end range where it stops you, where you feel some tightness in that cuff, going back and forth, 10 each side. If you try to force the hand back too far, what you'll find is the capsule is going to move a little bit. You don't want that. You want to keep that capsule nice and quiet. Going 10 external, 10 internal on both sides to get you ready to go. Exercise number 2 is a single arm push-up pull. What we're going to do here is act like a 3-legged table. We're going to get a push-up position hold on your throwing side, making sure your feet are nice and wide to keep you stable. Back is nice and flat, hand is placed below the shoulder. As you notice, the shoulder blade is sitting nice and flat against the rib cage. If you sink down too far, you'll notice extension at the back and winging of the shoulder blade. So push up, pretend you're pushing the ground away, and again, you're going to gain some stability in that shoulder. All right, here's exercise number 3. It's a 2-in-1 exercise, okay? Yes, today we're using a table, but you can use this in a bench in the bullpen or the dugout. What you're going to do is you're going to lay face down on the bench. First, we're going to work on a scapular protraction and retraction. So what we're going to do here is going to pull the elbow up, making sure the shoulder blade stays sitting against the rib cage. Then the second part of this exercise, we're going to go into external rotation. Come right back down again and reach. All right, so we're going to come up, retraction, shoulder blade sitting nice and flat, external rotation. What we're working here is the timing of the cuff, right? Making sure this guy stays nice and quiet. As we come back down, we're working on protraction here and working on keeping that shoulder blade flat against the rib cage, which is really important. The shoulder blade is a vital link in the throwing motion to keep that shoulder stable and healthy. Exercise number 4 is called the sideline external rotation. What we're working here is the inferior portion of the cuff. Again, tying in the stability here by keeping that shoulder blade nice and flat against the rib cage. You could use your glove. Here we have a towel, but you can use your glove underneath your elbow here to make sure you're keeping yourself supported, but also stacking when you're here. If I was to take this away, you notice the position of that shoulder isn't ideal. keeping that elbow supported, arm at 90 degrees. I'm gonna externally rotate. Again, keeping this guy nice and quiet, okay? Coming back down to neutral, and then repeat. And finally, here's exercise number 5, the forearm wall slide, okay? Today we're using a wall. You can use the edge of the dugout. You can use the fence in the outfield. Doesn't matter, as long as you find a nice flat surface. We're gonna set up about 4 to 5 inches away from the wall in left stance. Left stance means your left foot is back a little bit further than your right. We're gonna have eyes looking straight ahead. First thing you're gonna do is you're gonna try to drive your back, your upper back out away from the wall, okay? That's the most important thing, because now we're setting us up where the shoulder blades are sitting nice and flat on the rib cage. Next step is gonna slide his arms up the wall, working on scapular elevation, okay? If I was to get technical with you right now, we want about 55 to 60 degrees of upward rotation here at the border of your shoulder blade. Gonna come back down. Notice the tempo. Tempo is nice and easy, okay? If you go too fast with this exercise, as well as the other exercise we've shown you today, you're not getting the full benefit. Notice the nice upward rotation. If you are sunk too far in, let's say this isn't sticking out, now he's sunk in, you notice he's getting extension at the low back and not quite the same elevation. So it's important to stand nice and neutral here, abs are nice and tight, and you're driving your upper back outward away from the wall. All right, guys, that was our top 5 arm care exercises to help keep your arm healthy for the season. Hey, it's important to remember, every repetition counts. Let's make sure we're not only doing it correctly, but at the right tempo. A perfect tempo to perform with these exercises is a 2-2-2 to make sure you're doing it steady and controlled.
So whether you're a healthy athlete or an injured athlete, for more information about our OA Elite baseball program or our baseball-specific physical therapy program, you can come on down here to the OA Performance Center in Saco, Maine.